So, fun fact about today's episodes. Today's episodes are actually all of them are good. Usually it's like, oh yeah, the first episode was really good. The other two are fine. These three, they're all good. Wow. In my Star Trek Voyager. So, Relativity. Seven gets a uniform for one episode. But she gets it. Thank God. Today is the fall of Rick Berman. And then next episode is Warhead, which is a doctor episode. And it's all just the doctor is just hanging out in a room and yelling at people, and it's great. It's a whole episode. And then we have Equinox, which is... I mean, I'd say it's Starfleet Officer Gone Rogue, but that's the whole series. Janeway's crazy. But then so are most Starfleet officers. The entire fleet is just messed up.
And we get a new class of starship, too, so that's pretty fun.
The Nova class... Okay. The Nova class... The writers say it's purpose-built to do, like, short-term science stuff. It has high-tech labs and stuff. Its real purpose is to die. The Nova class is built to die. That's all they do. They never do any science. The science they do here is evil science, and then they die. It's like the Miranda class of the TNG era. All they do is explode. Good episode, though. In fact, they're not going to explode... Well, I was going to say they're not going to explode today. They're going to explode next week in part 2. But, no, I think, they start the... They're half exploded. They don't fully explode, they just half explode. They get a little bit better. But yeah, all pretty good today. That's cool. You know what else is good? I played, yesterday I was playing Dead Space, the remake. It's okay. I mean, the remake, I'm sure, is excellently done. I only played, like, a little bit of the original. But is it just me, or is the game not actually scary? Like, I feel like every time a monster is gonna jump out, I can see it coming. It's like if you're playing Dungeons and... Okay, here's what Dead Space reminds me of. You're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and every single enemy encounter, your DM describes, you enter into a large empty chamber with a pedestal in the middle with a lever and legs on either side. Like, yeah, okay, so I pull the lever and they attack, I get it, okay. Like, you can see it. You can see the battle unfold before it happens. That's what Dead Space feels like. Still okay, I played through the whole thing. Just a little predictable, but that's okay. Anyway, how's the weather?
We haven't had snow for this long in New York since never. We broke the record for no snow.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've had quite a bit of snow here in London, actually. That's funny.
Here we've had no snow ever. It doesn't snow.
Yeah, but you have more rain, right? So the drought's doing.
Oh yeah, loads of rain, tons of it.
So the drought's over?
Well, that's more of a long-term question. We've had a lot of rain recently. I don't know if it's going to persist.
Okay.
This is... late in the year is the rainy season. So whether or not the rain keeps up, we were expecting some amount of rain the last few months. Whether it keeps up, we don't know.
Okay, it's a season for raining. So
well, I don't know. Yeah, we have a rainy season and a dry season. That's it.
Gotcha.
We don't do winter or autumn. We do rainy or not rainy.
The reverse of Oregon, where it's either sunny or not sunny. The not sunny one does rain in the middle, or snow in the middle sometimes, but...
Okay, also 30 seconds to Relativity, by the way. So have you guys played Dead Space?
I've not.
No.
It's okay. I want to talk about Dead Space more, but it's not relevant at all to what's happening. But then we never talk about anything relevant to the show. So what's the matter? Also, you should press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. play, and I've done many things. What's that?
Did you like Andor or Obi-Wan better?
Andor by far. Andor was excellent. Also, if this is Utopia Planitia Shipyards...
Look, Akira class, Constellation class, which is the Enterprise C, Intrepid class.
Wow, what's a famous ship of Intrepid class?
The USS Intrepid.
Oh, okay. Ah, yes, the USS Intrepid. Of course.
I love this here, Bellatrix, if you prefer the original Arabic name. So a third of the stars have Arabic names in our time, just because the Islamic empire kind of incorporate. Well, they actually built upon a lot of the astronomy of the people who.
They were big on math and science.
Yeah. But actually, there were several empires like the Zoroastrians and the Jews in Iraq and the Mandeans and other smaller religions. They were very good at astronomy. So the Islamic Empire kind of took up that knowledge. But also, we have to know which way Mecca is, so we have to be very aware of the stars. Usually.
So you have to draw a line to Mecca, but it does go around the curve of the Earth. You're not worried about...
Yeah. It is around the curve of the Earth.
What are we talking about? Mecca?
Mecca?
What about it?
How much?
What's the deal with the big cube? Like, I know it's a holy religious thing, but where did it come?
Covered
Who
in
built
like a
the
big
cube?
sheet too?
Yeah, it's a gold. It's a black fabric with gold embroidery, gold thread embroidery.
It's a really nice cube. It's very fancy, but who built it? Where did it come from? Is it an alien artifact?
Close enough. It is. It is a meteorite that was venerated by the ancient Arabs, and it later became the central shrine of Islam.
Ooh.
But it's a meteorite.
Fancy.
There's a black stone, and we all touch the black stone, and like we even kiss it when we make the pilgrimage.
What is inside the Mecca cube? 3 pillars supporting the roof, suspended silver and gold lamps.
So I misremembered this episode. I thought it was Admiral Paris that's giving her this introduction.
No, I don't think he's been cast yet.
Is that an Excelsior class in dry dock?
I can't tell. It's like 6 pixels, dude. What do you
It
want?
looks like an Excelsior class.
It looked like a galaxy to me, or constellation, which I saw before. So I thought this was Admiral Paris, but no. Also, continuity error in the later episode when we get Reginald Barclay, or did we already get that? Reginald Barclay trying to communicate to Voyager.
That hasn't happened yet.
Okay, sorry. So when Janeway sees Admiral Paris for the first time on the show, she's like, nice to meet you or whatever, and like, your son's a great guy.
We have seen Admiral Paris once as a hallucination, but it was a different actor. It was some rando dude. Who is that guy?
Okay. Hey, look, Rick Berman's fallen.
If she could have kept it.
Rick Berman was like absent during this episode or something.
He had a week off or something. I don't know.
He must have been deadly sick.
Janeway's decision regarding Tuvok, it feels like murder for sure.
So there was an episode in Next Generation, and I think it was either When the Bow Breaks, or it was right after When the Bow Breaks. One of the showrunners, they paid for Gene Roddenberry and his wife to go on a trip so that they could...
So they wouldn't ruin it?
Yeah. And then when he got back, he was like, "Yeah, it's okay. You just keep doing this." And that's when Gene kind of took like a big step back from the day-to-day Next Generation.
You can always identify a Gene Roddenberry episode. They're very distinct, especially in the wardrobe choices. Gene's weird.
It's a good way to get rid of. But something that I recently learned or relearned. Welcome, Captain Hammer, by the way. Was that Gene Roddenberry wrote for a television series before Star Trek called The Detective, and it was a cop. Good afternoon. It's a cop show, and Nichelle Nichols was in it, I'm maybe I'm misremembering, but William Shatner was also a detective in it, or that he was just another cop show.
William Shatner played some kind of
Rookie.
some type of detective.
So what you're telling me is Star Trek's
some
insistence on
series.
using the same 4 actors for every guest star predates Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the series you're thinking of is Rescue 911.
Thank you. Lieutenant Hooker was his name, right? Maybe I'm confusing stuff.
No, you're right.
Okay, great.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention before when Janeway was talking about Tom Paris in the ready room over there. She said like, "Oh, he's made some mistakes. Everyone deserves a second chance. He's literally in prison for treason." That's okay. It's just light treason though, I guess. They're very forgiving in the future.
I like how she can't not be a Borg for 12 seconds.
I just saw like in Sweden, there's a guy who's a murderer, and he basically they put them in their own dorms, criminals, convicted criminals, and he has a car to get from like one place to another, and it's not too bad.
I think the objective of some of these other places is actually rehabilitation, whereas in the
Yeah.
United States,
Why
I
would
think
you
it's
want
just punishment.
No punishment.
Yeah.
America, punishment and profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I like,
It's on
and
a
I
seal,
use
isn't it?
like in massive air quotes here. I like how in the Constitution, in the amendment that prevented slavery, it specifically has a carve out to enslave inmates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
It's awesome.
says
So the 14th Amendment says no person shall be deprived of, their shall be subjected
Except as punishment for a crime.
except with
Yeah.
due process. Due process means you've had a trial by your peers, convicted
Yeah.
by a jury, evidence, witnesses. You've seen all that against you.
Wait. The writers remembered that Lieutenant Carey existed. Wow.
Yeah.
yeah, they bring him back in like almost the final episode, like the
Yeah,
third
because
from last
someone
episode, just to
reminded
kill
him that they never killed him off. People were like, wait, what happened to Lieutenant
kill him
Carey?
off?
He
That seems
just
kind of
stopped showing
cruel.
up.
It's like he's almost home, and then
Nope, he doesn't get to make it.
Some would argue that the journey is the destination.
I feel like the destination is the destination for pretty much everyone on the ship.
Except Tuvix.
except Neelix.
And Neelix.
God, thank
Neelix-
God he stopped off at that asteroid.
Neelix
Thank God.
found
Oh,
Neelix
All
found a
characters'
family.
names starting with X or ending with X.
He adopted a kid. Neelix has a nice life.
you
By adopted
a
a kid, do you mean Kess?
No,
Oh no,
No, it's not
But,
Tess, it's Sweetie.
but
God.
that woman on that asteroid better keep an eye out.
I'm just saying. They dropped him off in the Delta Quadrant. They called him ambassador, and he found a family. So
Oh, look, it's a matte painting where the color changes dramatically.
he had his own journey and destination. Neelix did
I
not
think
have
Kess had the most abrupt departure from any series ever.
Did she?
Well, what about
how about-
Babylon? Babylon 5, the woman who played
about-
the commander.
How about Denise Crosby? How about
No, you see, Denise Crosby's was foreshadowed because she waved goodbye the episode before.
Oh yeah,
Whereas Kess
That was
just
the last
started
scene she
destabilizing
shot.
the hull.
actually,
Yes.
that
because
was
she was being imprisoned
chronologically
in
the
real life.
last scene she was in. But because they filmed the episode she died before they filmed that episode.
But funny enough, though, even in the episode where Tasha dies, they're like senseless death, meaningless death. There was no purpose to that.
So, did Tasha have to die for TNG to get better? Like, do
Yes.
you feel like
No.
if she, do you
Yes.
feel if Tasha had stayed on the show wouldn't have been as good? I feel
I
that
would have been fine.
Michael Dorn was better in the role
Right.
in that position than.
And then
than
Jordy got to be
Denise
promoted
Crosby.
to chief engineer, which is better.
I'm sure
That
it would
would've
have worked
happened
out
anyway.
because, like, everybody in season 1 was just weird. Everyone just acted so strange all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would have
Well,
evened
Apparently,
out.
those uniforms are very
think so?
uncomfortable, which is probably a
I
contributing
think,
factor.
yeah.
Yeah, probably
I
the
think it could've been
uniforms being
5.
too tight was probably a big cause of everyone acting weird because they had no blood going to their heads.
So, what was it? I was gonna say I was watching the Shuttle Pod show, and they have an episode of Denise Crosby, and I mentioned this in the chat already in the Discord, but Dominic wasn't there, thank God. But the other guy who's normally behind the camera was there on the couch, and while they were talking, she was talking about her haircut that she got for her Playboy shoot that she did when she was 21, and he like looks up the Playboy pictures right there sitting next to her, and I was like, that's a little awkward.
Yeah. That is awkward. But
Rick Berman?
that's Denise Crosby. She was in Playboy.
Yeah, she did a Playboy shoot when she was 21.
Okay, but funny thing is, Marina Sirtis was Playboy's Model of the Year in 1986, the year before TNG was made, or 85.
Do you remember the interview? Marina Sirtis used to do like the really low budget films where she was getting assaulted and killed usually, and she had this really like tearful, impassioned speech. Some fan asked her something at a convention, and they're like, "What did you like most about being on Star Trek?" And she's like, "It got me away from doing these horrible movies where I had to get naked and get assaulted." And she like started crying.
She got assaulted
Jonathan
like
Frakes
every
is
other
standing
episode
next-
she was in.
Yeah, but less
Jonathan
often.
Frakes is standing there. Well, Jonathan Frakes is standing there next to her, and he looks like a deer in the headlights. He's like, he doesn't know what to do. What to say? He's like, "Well, that took a turn."
I wouldn't know what to say.
So this is
Yeah.
This is a 29th century time ship.
Yeah, so what's up with this actor and
Braxton.
and him being in Picard? Why?
He's great.
What
Well,
happened there? What was that decision about?
Because if they reuse people who had a bit role in previous episodes, it means that they've watched the episodes, right? And it means that they're respecting the source material, right?
Right.
I was just, as soon as I saw him, I was expecting it to be just the same guy, just the time cop again.
Yep.
It's like, oh yes, he's here because there's a disruption in the timeline. That makes sense.
And instead of
You know that-
spitting in the face of canon and all fans, they can just say it's an Easter egg, and they're doing fan service.
Funny. Well, they just got us good. Sometimes direction's about misdirecting the audience. They know what to
God, is he
expect.
always this dramatic when he's giving orders?
And I really like their comm badges here. Well, like the comm badge with the uniform. We've seen the comm badge before. It's the Future's End comm badge.
Yeah. Well,
Future Imperfect. Excuse me.
I wonder what that time cop guy would be like just in a desk job. Select cell E3 and conditional format.
Okay, so I just needed to
Don't say
confirm
that.
this. I was watching some clips from Heart of Glory the other day, and I go, that Klingon sounds a lot like the Admiral from Enterprise, and
Yeah,
it
it's
was
Admiral Von Armstrong.
Von Armstrong. That's the actor's name.
Yeah. And every time he shows up in his 7 different roles, I'm like, oh, hey, Vaughn.
Oh, hey, Von.
He's pretty cool.
I ordered a whole bunch of barbecue from the barbecue restaurant. And let's see, pickup time is in 20 minutes.
Okay.
Make sure you wear a bib.
A bib.
I wanted to get Indian food today, but the only Indian place, or the Indian place I would go to, isn't open until 5 p.m. today. What's wrong with them?
Oh, that's a long time for you. That's at least 5 hours from now, or close to 5
That
hours
is
from
4
now.
hours and 40 minutes. Yes, 5 hours. See, that's a good point. Seth, why does he need to consult the database? Why doesn't he just know it by default?
Yeah, because writers.
This is a good scene to film.
Oh, the ping pong paddle has to be an octagon, so we know that it's future spacey
It's a future
ping pong
space, yeah.
paddle.
Space ping pong.
I never.
So that's the entire run of Battlestar Galactica had that same philosophy.
Yeah, books. They cut the corners off because
Like,
space
And
books.
photographs and everything had
Because we don't need page
It's just a
numbers.
waste of paper.
It started as a pun because someone said they should cut corners, and apparently they just get away with it.
You're losing like 20% of the printable area of the page, and then with this you're losing how much surface area are you losing on the paddle?
Not that much on the paddle. It's already roughly that shape.
Is this the scene where she's hitting the ball and it stops in the middle of its travel and then it resumes after everyone stops to look at it?
So
I'll be right back.
a circle has an infinite number of lines that are like of the curve, like
False.
sides.
It has
Yes.
one line.
It has an infinite number of sides. Sorry, that's why it's a circle.
Isn't it like sine squared plus cosine squared or something?
I took pre-cal, but I hated it so much.
It's-
I never did.
I prefer the definition of a
pre-calc?
circle as r equals 1.
Yeah. Sine squared plus cosine squared is also 1.
That's just always true. It doesn't define anything in particular.
But if
That's
you were to
so convenient.
graph
That's why.
if you were to
that's why-
graph it, it's a circle.
That's why Ryan's the funny guy,
And
right?
if you graph sine and cosine, you get a circle.
That's what he's saying, yes.
If you graph sine squared plus cosine squared, you just get a flat line. This has 1.
Well, okay. Well, I don't remember exactly. I'm taking differential equations now.
Ooh,
And
nice.
So
are you familiar? Can you help?
Yeah.
This should be normal.
Okay, good.
I took it a long time ago.
I need
so
help.
Probably not.
My professor is difficult to understand. I
Yeah,
really
what-
wish I had gotten the same professor I had for the other math classes, but I didn't get so lucky. And this person's like, yeah, I don't do U substitution during integration. I do this other method, so try to follow along. It's like, what? Stop it.
So, were they actually playing ping pong there, or was the ball CGI the whole time?
Ball was CGI. The when it was.
I don't know. You have to go back and see. I'll be
It's
right
like they
back.
probably don't want to rely on the actor's actual ping pong skills, right?
You can practice a little bit and take a couple of shots. Paris
Who's
was doing
that
pretty.
guy?
Temporal distortions cause nausea. I'll keep that in mind.
Remember, if you feel nauseous in the morning, you either ate something bad, you're pregnant, or there's a temporal distortion in the area.
I explained so much.
So keep an eye out for paradoxes. Jesus, Neelix, what did you do? Neelix claims another victim.
He doesn't want to ask the guy what caused the temp.
Yeah, no, you gave him an injection. He's an extra. He doesn't get paid to talk.
Oh.
I kind of want to watch the episode Fractured, where the whole ship is split into different time periods. It is a Chakotay episode, but it's a really good Chakotay episode. There's not a single Akuchi Moya.
Oh, I want to issue a correction. Last week, I don't know why I thought they were in Seattle for the Millennium Tower thing. Somebody was telling me they're in Indiana.
Some podunk town with 30 people in it.
Mm-hmm.
What does podunk even mean?
Yeah.
I've just heard
Good
it. I've
question.
never actually. I don't think I've ever used it before. What is that?
But one really cool thing I thought about that episode though was, okay, so you think your you think your ancestors are so great, and that's what inspires Janeway to become a spacefaring captain. But it doesn't matter that she was just a woman who barely had enough money to pay gas. It's kind of funny that her family handed down the story that she actually became an astronaut, which is her original goal. But she kind of gave that up to be with Mr. Janeway.
Oh, so apparently it's like a concerning amount of English words where its origins are derogatory to a group of indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great.
What the heck, English?
Oh,
Like,
wow.
oh yeah, those backwater people living in the middle of nowhere. Like, come on, you can't.
Savages,
Yeah.
heathens.
Bloody English, it's a minefield.
You know what heathen means? Heathen means someone who's unbaptized.
Am I a heathen? I don't know if I'm a heathen.
I'm a heathen.
Why
No,
does God care about sprinkling water on a baby?
That's a good question. Although, to be fair, most Christian denominations will say that babies don't have to be baptized. Like, it won't. He or she won't go to hell if they're not baptized.
What does God need with a sprinkler?
Yeah.
Eh,
It was a real philosophical problem for Christianity in the Middle Ages, especially once Columbus discovered the New World. Even the Catholic Church was like, if our Lord said that you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven except if you be baptized, with water, then
Why?
what
Why
about
does he care?
what about the millions of people in North and South America who never heard the gospel preached to them? Does God automatically send them to hell? So they had to come up with a different theology called baptism of desire or invincible ignorance. Basically, if nobody preached the gospel to you, you're exempt from the requirement.
Therefore,
Therefore, they
If-
shouldn't preach.
yeah, nobody should
Yeah.
preach. We should try to eliminate all traces of the religion. So everybody goes to heaven, no matter what.
You still have to live like a morally uprighteous life. Like you
Yeah,
can't,
sure, but we
you
could
can't
get
ki-
we could get
you
rid of
can't
the
kill
organized
anyone.
part.
You can't kill anyone. No, I'm saying for baptism, for invincible ignorance. Like a murderer still can't get to heaven just because they never heard the gospel.
I mean,
preached.
Yeah, that's fine.
that makes sense.
But we
Yeah.
can get rid of the preaching bit and
No,
have
Yeah.
all good people who aren't that religion.
You guys are asking a fair question because this was like a serious problem in post-Columbus theology. So,
Do you think there's like well, I was going to say, do you think there's a Klingon Jesus? And yeah, what do you mean? There is. We have like 3 episodes about it.
oh wow, these are different comm badges than TNG's alternate futures. It's a sideways chevron with a diamond. Pretty neat. I like them. Although Discoveries is better.
So this is not at all the same Captain Braxton from the first episode he is in. From
That was,
the Los Angeles episode with Sarah Silverman.
Future's End.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Future's End is interestingly named because that was said by the Borg Queen when she fired the torpedoes or had Data not fire the torpedoes at the Phoenix. Watch your future's end. And then Henry Starling and Voyager.
I mean, I would say Seven's comment about the Kazon being inferior is racist, but I mean, she's got a point.
So how does this not violate the timeline to like recruit Seven over and over again?
So don't worry about it.
Because there's a temporal prime directive too, so you would think they follow the prime directive.
The prime directive only matters as long as it's convenient. every Starfleet officer is 100% willing to throw it away if they feel it's not even necessary, just if it makes things easier.
So, and here they say it could lead to temporal psychosis to keep recruiting someone, and then they tell her, "This is your third time. You'll be fine."
Oh. Do, do we know if season 3 of Picard has been filmed? It's probably been filmed by now. It comes out in like 2 weeks. What
Yeah,
am
it
I
comes
talking
out on the
about?
15th, so it's ready for.
So apparently, the actress who plays the Borg Queen just died.
Oh, rest in peace.
Ooh. Movie drop.
She was really good. Did a good Queen. I don't know if she's in season 3 or not, but
This ship is called the USS Relativity, and I just learned that general relativity and special relativity kind of say two different things, because the quantum doesn't explain gravity, which there's no gravity at the quantum level.
Well, that we can explain anyway. Yeah.
the fact that they're two
We can't
different
get the
names
things.
separated into two categories should tip you off that they're different things.
Yeah, no, but one doesn't one explains gravity, and then the other one just leaves it out.
Yeah.
So it's like a two different pictures being painted of the universe.
And they're not entirely consistent.
Yeah. That's kind of that's why we have yet to come up with the grand unified theory, the theory of everything, or quantum gravity, basically. But they don't jive. So
Wow, only 3 temporal incursions? Jesus, she's got nothing on Kirk. What was it? 27 separate violations?
Yeah, but I think she's the one who made him homeless, so that's different.
Come on, it wasn't that bad.
No, but he's dumpster diving, right? So it was pretty bad.
Well, that's his fault. He should have pulled himself up by his bootstraps and got a job.
We didn't have a welfare state in the 90s. Bill Clinton destroyed it.
What?
It's tough being poor in the 20th and 21st century.
Yes. A well-crafted joke, Braxton.
That line just ruined the episode for me. I thought you said this was a good episode, Ryan. Jerry Ryan looks so off without her ocular implant. It kind of makes her prettier.
What is that gun? We didn't really get a good shot of it before, but it's just like... I don't even know how to describe it.
Why did she get her implants back after this episode?
They're not gone, they're just temporarily occluded.
Okay.
They're invisible.
So Janeway's like the time cop's most wanted?
I mean, the way they get home in the end is like enormous violation of the Temporal Prime Directive. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I would think
Yeah,
so.
that's true.
I mean,
And then Harry Kim too. I think at one point. Anyway, there's a lot. That's true. This is definitely foreshadowing the final episode of Voyager.
yeah, bringing back a weapon 20 years in order to help win a war is like extremely wrong.
And then like they even tell her like I'm responsible for all the people in our timeline, and she's like, sorry, all the kids being born, it doesn't matter.
Oh, hey, it's that same matte painting.
And look, it's called Endgame, just like that Avengers movie.
Does Captain Picard do any temporal violations? Like, Captain Sisko definitely does.
All Good Things is
At
a
least one
temporal
was
violation.
accidental, but
I think, like, at the beginning of All Good Things, he's the one that has them fire the tachyon beam from the deflector dish into the anomaly, which causes the thing to get worse as you go back in time.
I only remember 2 instances of Picard going back in time. That one with Q, that you just mentioned, and the one with Mark Twain.
Times Arrow.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
Catherine, how do you remember that? Jesus.
everything else is the holodeck, like Robin Hood and Paris, Dixon Hill, London's Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah, First Contact. They weren't back in time there.
Oh yeah,
I think they'd probably let that temporal violation go. I think
That
they're
one-
okay with that one.
that one.
Well,
that one
they
was
fixed the Borg doing worse. Yeah.
arguably necessary. It's like worrying
What
about
even was the point
it's like
of
worrying
the
about
crew going?
double parking when there's a fire going on. It's like,
What was the point of Captain Picard going back to the Mark Twain time? Like, yes, they were aliens threatening Earth, but they had already threatened Earth hundreds of years ago, and everything's fine now. So they're not going back to like prevent the destruction of the Federation. They're just
it's to save innocent cholera lives.
cholera is just not that virulent.
No, but they found Data's head, so they knew Data was there, so they had to somehow stop that.
God, Janeway's got a heck of a memory. She saw Seven for like 10 seconds 2 years ago.
Yeah, this is weird. She has a photographic memory. That's what this episode is confirming. Janeway is like a crow. She'll see you once and she'll remember you for the rest of her life.
But Janeway, does she look like a regular Borg to you? Come on. Context clues, Janeway.
All right. That's good.
No, Seven.
Ah.
Your ship. This ship belongs to the people of the Federation. It is our ship.
So this is actually realistic. Because usually if it was anyone else, like Chakotay, Janeway would be like, fine, whatever you say. But here she's like, I need the whole story.
Why doesn't the bomb just explode immediately? Why did it only go off 3 years later?
Something really cool though about time travel plots. The Terminator does it really the best, and I didn't realize it until I was watching a YouTube discussion on this recently. But Sarah Connor's lover is Kyle from the future, who's the best friend of John Connor, who's her son. So the best friend is the one who impregnates his best friend's mom and makes his best friend. But okay, so the point of that is that, look, you could go back in time and undo the future. You could go back in time, create a new timeline, or going back in time creates a timeline that was supposed to happen anyway.
My god. What a twist.
AKA the homeless guy.
No, that was a different actor. Don't worry about it.
I mean, he's still suffering from the effects of that.
Just activate it. Come on. Don't threaten people with a weapon. Use the weapon.
It looks like a fidget spinner now.
Ah, yes, Captain Braxton's most lethal weapon, a Beyblade.
Or it looks like a graphics card with like LED lights.
Lower your weapons or he'll let it rip. How come he's only an ensign here? Why is he Ensign Braxton?
And the medical. So this is the problem of having like time cops, because they do all kinds of who please, if I could undo the past, I'd make sure I went to like Harvard.
God, he's really pulling the... Yeah, I'm crazy. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. Of course I'm paranoid. Everyone's trying to kill me. I also don't know why he's so upset about having to fix temporal violations. That's literally his job. He literally signed up for it.
Yeah. But again, the problems of like who watches the watchers. I remember reading Edward Snowden's discussion of all the NSA wiretapping, and all the people at the NSA, when you send your explicit photos over text message, the NSA staffers were looking, laughing, and making comments at the American people's explicit text messages that they were sending. So it's, you really can't trust anyone with
Not even yourself.
this much power, because we all
But, like,
are
I don't get... Like,
what
you
is it?
sent me 3 expense reports that I had to process.
Yeah,
It's like, come on, you're hired for that. Chill out, dude.
I think he says that they send you back to rehabilitation.
Oh no. Not Federation rehabilitation for an illness.
But
God, what is that gun? It looks so weird.
temporal psychosis, transporter psychosis.
You missed. Come on. What happened? Okay. What's Braxton's plan here? Where's he going?
I think he's gonna blow up Voyager before it even leaves for the Maquis mission.
Yeah, but like in this particular context, why is he just running around the corridors? Is he planning to like hijack a shuttle? What's he doing?
Like, they have those 29th century transporters and they still couldn't just get a lock on him.
That's Ensign Braxton. He's... Oh, you got him. Come on, keep firing. Worthless.
I'm feeling some nausea.
No time.
I would not trust a future version of myself.
But like the bomb's not armed anymore. It's not on the ship. Everything's okay, right? It's gonna be a hassle to find him again, but...
Like, just because your future version says chase that stranger down and stop him doesn't mean you're gonna chase the stranger down.
Man, Seven's really good with her pronouns, sorting them out immediately. Have you considered shooting him? He's pointing a gun at the cabin. Can we? Okay. God, this show's weird. Just Star Trek in general.
I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you.
Oh yeah, if he blew up Voyager immediately while I was in dry dock, he wouldn't have been sent to the 20th century.
If it
Why did he
wasn't
blow it up 3 years later?
for you meddling kids and that dog.
He could have solved all his own problems.
They have to brain wipe Janeway, right?
Maybe? I remember there's some jokes about the Temporal Prime Directive. I don't think they wipe her brain, actually. I think she just has to pinky swear not to talk about it. Yep, that all makes sense. Seems legit. Captain Braxton's evil plan. Stealing his application to Starfleet out of the mail from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
There are so many ways he could have solved his problem without blowing up the ship.
I mean, it's like you said, Ryan, though, if the Borg had just sent 2 cubes.
Just send 2 cubes.
At first contact.
They got millions. Come on.
Or. Or, how about this? You go back in time, then you travel across the Delta Quadrant to the Alpha Quadrant. How about that? So you arrive at a defenseless Earth in that century.
I hate temporal mechanics.
Yeah. I think Isaac Asimov.
Also, if you ever have a headache, it's probably just invisible aliens drilling into your skull. Nausea means temporal anomaly. Headache means invisible aliens.
Who kidnapped you in your sleep?
No, that's fatigue.
Yeah, that's a fatigue and irritation.
Fatigue is being kidnapped to a different layer of subspace.
I
Yeah, it's like the writers of Voyager never even watched Star Trek. Yeah, that's a good point. Don't they know that headaches were cured by the time of TNG?
Right.
Wesley said it's something his mom said people used to get.
Yep, and the common cold.
Look, just season 1 TNG. I just don't even consider it canon, really. I just ignore it. It gets like the entire season gets retconned.
And like you said, the actors didn't even know how to act. Like they're just yelling and abusive to each other. Especially the first episode, they're all like they all hate each other.
Yep. No temporal, no mind stuff, just pinky swear.
I don't think that registered for Janeway because
Yeah, she doesn't care.
she's the biggest temporal violator in all of Star Trek.
You know, in Knights of the Old Republic, you know, it's a really good RPG. You have to do a lot of dialogue picking. Some of the options are like, oh, yes, of course I'll do that. And the next option will be in brackets, lie. Yes, of course I'll do that. Janeway picked the lie option. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll avoid time travel. Don't worry about it. Honest.
Roger that.
So the next episode is Warhead. And Warhead is pretty good.
Hey, T.
Uh,
I'm gonna grab something from the stove. Be right back.
So anyway, about those 3D models, have you modeled the Warhead from this episode?
no,
Why not?
it was not a request.
You only do by request?
Yeah, I don't model every single asset from all the Star Trek
Why
series, contrary
not?
to popular belief. Well,
What's even the point?
you know, reasons.
Fine. Well, if you're not going to model every asset, you can at least press play in 15 seconds on Warhead. Season 5, episode 20 something. I don't know, who cares? Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
I have no idea where the last 50 minutes went. I wanted to be here for the first episode, but that just didn't happen for some reason.
Maybe you were modeling assets?
I have been doing some Blender work.
Oh.
Or actual Flight Sim, actually.
Wait, what is his first day with B'Elanna? Is that the time on the planet when she was going through Ponfar, or what?
I mean, I'm sure that's technically, but no, I don't know what he's referring to.
Did he just browbeat Neelix into using his own personal rations?
Yep.
I think so.
Can't do that. Dude's gonna get reported. Harry Kim is really pulling out all the stops to try to get some kind of promotion.
He might have tried to change his track from operations to command. If he got a red shirt, maybe he would have.
Crossing your legs on the bridge? That's a demotion, Harry. Who's this lady? Space doesn't have night. Nothing. Things will still happen during the night shift, lady. TNG night crew got involved with the Borg, solved the whole problem. Also, I feel. Does he need to get permission from Janeway?
No, he's
to
in
do
command.
This? He just.
He's in command.
Alright. He can do whatever he wants. Does he get access to the self-destruct codes while it's night shift? Wait, if they're in a crisis, does Janeway just stay home if it's night shift? What if they're under attack?
Then they would. There we go. He's going to go and.
Oh no, her name is Jenkins. Oh, she's gonna die. Oh no. Something tragic has got to happen with her. She has a name, and she's a new actor who has lines. Something tragic is going to happen. The captain doesn't go on away missions, Harry. You have to stay on the bridge. You know, someone who's actually good at their job.
Everyone's been on that ship for 5 years, Harry.
Not true. Seven's only been here for a little bit.
And she's
And she's
already
way
done her
better
own
at her
away
job.
missions, so...
Yeah, she's way better than him.
Oh, hello.
I'm pretty sure
I've
Naomi has gone on
returned.
more away missions than Harry Kim.
There's a random character. There's a random character.
There's a
He's a-
random... Okay, there's a random character who we got a name for them. Their name is Jenkins, and they have lines.
No, this one.
Oh, this one? Oh, yeah, he's
Can I
dead too.
ask? I want to ask a question. How often has Harry Kim left the ship and not had something bad happen to him? He left the
Negative 3
ship.
times.
He left the ship, and he left the ship getting sucked out of the ship when they had the duplicate Voyager. He got kidnapped by the caretaker. He got sucked
STD.
out to the other dimension by the planet where the dead people are in the asteroid field.
The one time he was
he-
enjoying leaving the ship, he got an STD.
He got the STD from that girl that was actually like a revolutionary terrorist. He got kidnapped by the people that were going to suck him dry for genetic material to procreate. What other bad things? He got attacked by species 8472 in the Borg cube. He got taken to the prison. He got arrested, falsely arrested. I mean, what? When has he left the ship and had a good time?
Right now.
Good question. Good question.
Oh, the Silver Blood episode. He got turned into a duplicate and left for dead.
I
he was
kind
the
of
first
lost track of how many different things he mentioned. But if you didn't mention it already, there was that time he went back to his girlfriend in San Francisco. And everyone thought he was crazy.
Yeah. Everyone thought he was crazy. I didn't mention that one. I forgot about that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's ever left the ship and had any type of positive result.
Harry Kim is the Nova class of Starfleet officers.
Good.
He's built to suffer.
And never gets promoted. The Nova class will never do anything more exciting than standard survey missions. Or if it does, it has to get thrown into the deep end.
And never gets a girl because his best friend is always undermining his confidence.
I mean, I'd say that didn't really apply to a ship, but no, next week. Is it next week? Tom's going to get a girl that's a ship.
Tom Paris is a dick.
He's actually a really nice guy.
Tom Paris or Robert?
Tom Paris.
So you're saying Robert's a jerk? Wow, rude.
I don't know. I've never really Duncan McNeil. I've never really seen him off camera.
Well, how could you?
Look,
How
I
would that
mean,
work?
out of his role as Tom Paris. But like, I think I empathize with him a lot, you know, because he's like a rehabilitated criminal and genuinely trust in him. So I think he brings a lot. Like, even somebody who's supposedly a traitor, like you can make a valuable officer.
They forgot my sides for the mother. They forgot a whole bag out of my order.
Forgot or took for their own?
Oh, so he brings back a bomb.
A warhead.
You don't know that? That's crazy. What are you talking about? It's not. It's just.
It just looks like a missile lodged into the side of a rock, but it doesn't mean it's a bomb.
Just because it looks like a bomb doesn't mean it is a bomb.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Jenkins. She's walking
No,
away.
no,
She's leaving the
taking
bridge.
a
Where's she
piss.
going? Why are you bothering me with this, Harry? Do it yourself.
So it's R2D2 basically. I want to give an award to whoever does R2D2's beeps and boops because they do a great job.
Yeah, they forgot a lot of stuff. I gotta go back. Son of a bitch.
Okay.
They probably gave it to the other guy that was there. I know it. It pisses me off.
Again, this is one of those episodes where they put something really dangerous next to the warp core.
Just 10 feet. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I thought he said
Wrong-
engineering bay. He didn't say main engineering.
Yep. Let's just put this thing next to the warp core. What could possibly go wrong?
And they do
Zero
the same.
respect for the core.
But they had an episode just like this because there was that explorer thing that was shaped like an android with an iron mask
Yeah, they did
That
that.
was right next to the warp core.
And they did this in TNG with the Romulan replicated phasers. But they were literally firing them next to the warp core.
And they plug
To
in
be
data
fair, they
into-
were pointed away from the core.
Oh yeah, because phasers never overload.
Do they ever actually? I think we get an overloaded phaser like once.
We get overloaded disruptors as well.
They
and
want to overload.
It was a
them.
Romulan design.
How come the Voyager warp core doesn't do the whole lights going down in a pattern thing?
Because it's a new type of warp core.
But
It's
the
fancy.
TNG warp core looked so fancy.
Mm.
Yes, you're a very handsome cylinder.
Is that a reference to Fat Man and Little Boy?
I think it's a reference to just what missiles look like.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually
mean-
cylinders and a little pointy.
Yeah, but probably has as much firepower as a couple of atomic warheads.
I don't think it matters how much firepower it has, as long as it's enough to rupture the warp core that it's right next to.
Yeah. Or hull.
Don't worry about the fact that the stream just disappeared for a second. I pressed the wrong button. Don't worry about it. It's fine now.
It was one of 2 warheads sent to this planet.
No way.
A 200 kilometer radius crater
No
is
way.
quite large.
Yeah,
I thought they just, threw their PCs against rocks. I thought that's what they were doing.
why can't you just accept it for who it is, Doctor? Why do you have to try to change its nature? It just wants to blow things up. Also, who makes a sentient bomb? That's crazy.
Okay, it's a nuke, basically, though. Like,
But it's a nuke that can think.
Then you make them season 3. It comes back as Moriarty.
Doctor, that's not a very convincing. Saving a life entails risk. Yeah, but it's like literally everyone on the ship with a bomb.
yep.
Could we bring it back down to the planet's surface and work on it
So
there?
at least it's just the away tube in danger, yeah.
Or
Oh, look, they're moving it without a force
But
field.
where? Oh, to sickbay. Not off the ship, just to sickbay.
Very centralized location in the ship, so if it does explode, everyone will die.
Yeah, given what we've seen about the impact crater from the other bomb, I'm pretty sure just anywhere in the ship, it'll just destroy the whole ship.
Yes. Although next to the warp core was the worst location.
I don't know. I think I'll prefer the cylinder.
Wow.
That is a handsome cylinder. Doctor, tell it what you're going to do before you start messing around with its brain. Come on. John, don't use the word blow.
Yeah.
Blana, you fool. How many seconds until this goes terribly wrong?
Yeah.
At least 4.
I give it 10, 15 seconds.
So
Nope, it was 6. It was 6 seconds.
something really cool. A lot of surface to air missiles, they have the tracking like heat lock, which is the computer basically. It finds the heat source, which is the engine of a jet usually, and it can take down a jet. And the guy on the ground doesn't have to aim really good because it'll just find the heat source, which is a jet engine in the sky. But we have ways to avoid. So what a jet will do is it'll throw out like flares that'll burn really hot for a second, and that'll fool the sensor of the heat-seeking missile.
Why didn't they
So-
just try talking to the missile?
Yeah. Well,
Maybe he doesn't really want to blow up fighters.
that's what we're headed towards. Uh-oh.
Bum, bum,
God,
bum,
again?
Someone takes over the doctor? No way. And remember, we don't have a backup of the EMH anymore.
So, okay, the doctor had promised the Bond that he would get a very handsome body.
Ha,
Was
ha,
he
ha.
telling the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's alright.
So, what's the point of detonating if the target's already destroyed?
It's not destroyed. What are you talking about? They're an active, dangerous, hostile threat.
They both missed their target. Like, that thing has no propulsion. It's just a warhead.
No, it has
Yeah.
a warp drive. It's
You
just
want to
tiny.
jettison sickbay.
It has a warp drive.
Can they do that? And yes, it does have a warp drive. Don't worry
Okay.
about the logistics or where it fits, but it
Okay.
has one.
Uh-huh.
This has the structure of like that TOS episode. I think they're fighting a war, then their planet's destroyed. Or yeah, it's the one where the left side of their face and the right side of their face. One is black and white, the other's white and black. And when they get to their planet, there's no planet. Because y'all killed yourselves over your racial hatred.
Is it really war if you're not really firing the bomb, you're just being an Uber for a bomb.
Yeah.
Robert Picardo is a great actor, by the way.
Oh, that's a good program. It's unfortunate that the writers didn't have the courage to make the cylinder the antagonist the whole time. And it just beeps aggressively. They had to give it a face.
Well, if you were Kirk, you'd just talk to it until it got bored.
So both in the 1991 Gulf War and the 2003 Gulf War, the introduction of smart bombs was a pretty good advancement. Because before, dropping a bomb from a plane, it's a pretty inaccurate thing. You just gotta kind of indiscriminately drop bombs to make sure you get the general area of whatever bullet factory you're trying to bomb. But obviously, you're gonna hit a few apartment buildings, right? Because you're just pushing bombs out of a plane.
Could we not?
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you have to, right?
No.
So, no, but then if you develop smart bombs, you can make sure you hit the ammunition factory and not in a complex of apartment buildings. So actually, we solved the big component of war. And actually, during the Ukraine conflict too, Russia was sending out its old Soviet tanks, and Ukraine had drones. So it's pretty easy to like blow up tanks that are invading in a row if your drones are like an eye in the sky and you have that intelligence to blow them straight to hell.
It's just, I don't get why it being literally sentient would improve the functionality of the bomb. Why does it need to be able to think? Like, it's programmed with a course it needs to take. It has sensors, so if someone tries to tamper with it, it explodes. Why can't it just follow its path and explode? Why does it... Why?
Yeah.
Also, Mr. Studios, your microphone looks like it's activating, but nothing's happening.
I know. I'm trying to fix it as we speak, actually. Why?
Nothing's coming through, so it's fine.
Would you look at that? I think I fixed it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you should never be in charge of an away mission, Harry. Any senior officer would have been like, let that bomb stay exactly where it is, Doctor.
You see, the
Slow
doctor was
to
fulfilling his
impulse.
programming exactly as designed, trying to save a life. Therefore, you should defy your programming to not murder. Okay. There are so many things I don't understand about artificial intelligence in Star Trek. Namely, in this case, why does he use his eyes? Could you be more specific?
No, they're all violent psychopaths. Even the children are just Freddy Krueger.
Do we know how long they actually have? Because they said they were 2.3 light years away. Voyager can go warp 9.9 something.
Yeah, and he said maximum speed.
I would be a little bit concerned about, like it was mentioned before, Captain Kirk would just like talk to it until it destroyed itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if we want to use the Captain Kirk method because destroying itself, which most computers do in his presence, means explosion.
But you know, guns don't kill people. People kill people
With guns.
with AI.
Why are we not seeing his face?
Why is the ship not moving at warp?
Doesn't the bomb notice that they've stopped?
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal? See, warp capable. Where
But
did it fit the drive?
Class 11 means it's like Chat GPT, basically.
80 light years is pretty good.
Yeah, take it. That's fine. It's yours. It's fine. It's not even your weapon of mass destruction. The Prime Directive prevents sharing of technology, but that doesn't apply here because it's not Federation technology. Just give him a WMD. It's fine.
Well, you say that. It's not like the Federation would give someone else a Klingon cloaking device if they happened to grab one.
Only they totally would if they didn't care about keeping it for themselves. They'd totally give one away.
Cisco would, but Picard wouldn't.
Yeah, who cares about Picard?
So, Janeway is not naive because you don't give weapons of mass destruction away.
Oh, plasma manifold. This guy's gonna attack Voyager, right? Because he
Yeah.
wants it?
I would.
And get
I would-
burned up by the bomb, I believe.
I think
Hey,
they
I-
deserve it at this point.
Hey, Argos.
There it is.
Hello.
Okay, look, I appreciate that. He
I'm
beamed
sorry,
off the
you've
ship
lost
and
weapon-
fired
hold on.
immediately.
Yeah, and also they've lost weapons and shields already.
Well, if they couldn't raise their shields in the first place, then it's all good. It's the best time to fire. What shields?
Oh, another plot hole.
Wait, what? How?
Pop.
Okay.
That's how. Space magic.
They were an enemy.
So he was clearly aware that there was another ship there.
They were not a threat until they fired.
Chakotay, why are you the only one sitting down? It just feels awkward.
You can't be bothered to stand up. He's tired.
So we have a missile that's sentient. So what is with the obsession of people in the future making sentient weapons?
They should stop, for sure.
It never helps.
No. But, you know, I guess we're kind of working on it now, aren't we? Like, we're making essentially Terminators that can determine when to use deadly force without intervention of operators. So there you go.
I mean, it is a terrible idea.
Yeah. Here's I foresee someone manipulating that, so that it can
Well, you see, everyone
attack
got tired
friendly
of people
forces.
going, "Oh, guns don't kill people kill people." So we are designing
And
a
the gun
gun
into a person,
that
right?
kills people itself.
Um
Bypass
Yeah,
that whole
okay.
argument.
So the catch on that though.
What's the catch? What catch could there possibly be to making sentient weapons?
I forgot. I had a clever response, but now I'm too
See, because there
distracted
is
by
no
my
downside.
barbecue food. Yeah, I still didn't get all my stuff.
You didn't check it while you were there?
It looked like they gave me everything, but
Why?
there's a problem with the website.
What do you mean? Didn't you physically go to the restaurant and they handed you more stuff? I don't understand.
Well, I guess we'll never know.
Never know. I assume he's eating barbecue right now.
I'm just imagining a dial-up loading symbol above him.
So their website had optional things for the dishes, and I checked them all on. And apparently, it's not working. So it was like I was checking them off, even though I was checking them on. And then the waitress actually pulled it up on their computer, and she confirmed that it's not working right. So, but it doesn't. It's a little. What you call it? It's a joke. It's a little consolation because all my food is cold now. So whatever.
The system that you were ordering your food on sentient?
No, someone just developed an infiltration code for the ordering system. They diverted his add-ons.
Devious behavior, indeed.
Why haven't the other bombs already reached the target and exploded? It's not that far away.
Strategic command hologram. That's the wrong thing.
Emergency command hologram. Activate the photonic cannon.
How could Harry read that?
He has excellent vision.
That's not okay.
What?
But does the universal translator work for written text?
Yes.
Does it
Yes.
hijack the signal from your eyes?
Yeah, it just projects the hologram onto your retina.
Well, there's a thing in if I'm not too much mistaken, there's a thing in Star Trek Generations where on the panel for the weapon that Soren is launching, it says translation active, so you can see what it's saying.
Robert Picardo was probably really happy to play something other than the Doctor, huh?
He's been possessed by evil programs like 3 times by now.
And then he'll be possessed by 7 very soon.
No, he'll possess.
Other way
Seven.
around.
Yes.
Sorry.
He ate an
And he does a
entire
good job of it, too.
cheesecake.
She does a good job playing him.
Do you think? Let's not
I
get into
think
it.
many things. Have you played Dead Space? Because one of my
Yes.
thoughts is it's okay.
The first Dead Space I played. Yeah, other
Yeah.
Dead Space I started, but I never finished it. This is kind of just more of the same.
So, he's burning her?
Yeah, he just pushed her face down on the stove, and it worked out. Super easy.
So you
Yeah,
had
I mean,
the ability
it's-
to detonate their own relays like that?
I feel like there might be some deceptions. Maybe 1 or 2.
Isn't this the one where there's actually been a peace treaty between the worlds and they diverted the missiles to all kill themselves so that they didn't do this?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, they've tried to stop the missile from hitting its target. Yeah.
He just won't access his memory engrams to define the authorization code for the abort order.
He thinks they're being sussy.
I just saw in 1985, NORAD had like a faulty chip that made it look like the Soviet Union launched 200 missiles. And then when they called the Secretary of State again, they're like, no, they launched like 2,000 missiles. And the Secretary of State it was like 3 a.m. was about to call the president, and then they're like, okay, no, they didn't launch any missiles. Don't wake up the president.
Okay.
But
Unrelated, could someone just walk up behind the doctor and grab the emitter? Could they just take it off?
yeah,
Isn't he in the sick bay thing now?
yeah, sickbays are fitted with hollow projectors.
But he's not in the hologrid. He's in the mobile emitter.
Oh yeah, he's on the bridge now, isn't he? But see that panel and stuff behind him looks awfully like some of the panels in sick bay.
No, well,
Yeah.
No, he is in sick bay. It's just
he's
on
in
his
sick
arm.
bay.
Oh, he's just
He's
talking.
wearing
So
the emitter.
remember, it switches over if it's
But he has to do that manually.
He only switches
He
if
has
he
to
goes
go press buttons on the
wibbly wobbly
console.
mode.
Whoa, what just happened?
Bit of static in the program.
There are more missiles.
There's the whole fleet.
So
Why haven't
That's
they already
constant.
exploded on the target? Why are
so
they
there was
here?
another incident where someone launched I think it was a scientific rocket for some purpose, and they had notified
Scientific
Moscow,
rocket.
but apparently it didn't get down to like their air defense, and they thought it was a hostile missile. So they were ready to launch. Like they had the keys turned, they're ready to fire, and a guy, for whatever reason, he was like, you know what? I'm not starting World War III today. And I'm not going to do it. And he didn't do it. And then it, saved us from Armageddon. But the thing is, he had no idea. He had no way of knowing that it was a false alarm. So
How many times have we been like one button to press away from everybody on the planet dying?
Not too many times, but it's happened more than once.
I feel like any number above 0 is concerning.
Yes.
I think the thing
It's
that we
also
should
the
be impressed
reason,
with is that we've came to the precipice and stepped back.
Well, in this
it's
timeline, there's another timeline where we're all eating irradiated fish right now.
Yeah, well, we don't care about that.
Well, there's also another
timeline.
timeline where we're all just dead.
This is the prime timeline. All other timelines are subordinate.
So the reason we're talking about being so close to having people fire the nukes and stuff, it's actually the reason that America still wants to have 3 different ways of nuking another country, and one of them is piloted bombers, because piloted bombers can turn around at any point during the mission. As long as it hasn't physically launched the bomb,
Right,
which
the
only happens at the very end of the profile, then it can turn around and come back.
The Trident
without doing it.
defense, nuclear submarines, ICBMs, and nuclear bombers.
Yes.
So,
Ohio
did you
class
see the movie
submarines.
War Games with Matthew
I
Broderick?
think I might have, yeah.
So at the beginning of the movie, they demonstrate that like they did a drill. They knew the missiles weren't going to launch, but they wanted to see how many operators would launch the missiles, and then they send them the command for the missile operators in the silos to fire the missiles, and like this dude shoots a guy for not turning the key, and they're like, yeah, see the test, like 14% of the people didn't launch the missiles. So we got to take this out of the hands of the people. We need to make sure that these get launched, and that's why they like turn it over to AI.
What if we just made all the nukes intelligent and sentient? It works out so great every time.
So, in Terminator, once the AI Skynet goes live, they get the U.S. to launch all missiles to destroy the Russians, and the Russians to launch the missiles to destroy the Americans. And they don't have to destroy humanity. We just get our 2 superpowers to do it ourselves.
Can we just put all the politicians like into one room and let them duke it out, like so that nobody else loses a life? Like just let the politicians.
Wait, just the leaders or like all the politicians? Because we have a pretty big House of Representatives. There's a lot of people there.
Yeah, but they're mostly like 70 years old.
State legislators, state representatives, state senators.
The state with the biggest bureaucracy wins.
The whole bureaucracy? Okay. So Google's also making military robots, and there have been staff members who resigned because they're like, yeah, we don't want to be involved in this.
Their mission statement was "Don't be evil."
Right, and so
they forgot that a long time ago.
So the question is like, do you want to be killed because the machine thought you looked 99.9% like someone it was supposed to be a target of? Like, it's kind of a strange thing, but
humans do that too. Like they go to the wrong house and end up shooting somebody, killing them.
They have
What? The police would never do that.
But like, I feel like if I'm killed by a person, at least like, you know, we can do something to that person somewhat.
Yeah, the difference is ultimately who is responsible, and it's like if a machine like is doing its programming and hurts a human, it actually tends to be like the human that's at fault. But that's not the same situation with if an AI powered like sentry gun just guns down the wrong target. It's like, well, who's responsible then? We've handed over that responsibility to some software.
Well, that sounds so convenient.
Thank you, Argos.
It's convenient, but every time you get convenience, you trade something else.
Yeah, we gunned down a few wrong people, but we don't have to deal with it as much. Not our problem.
But yeah, Voyager's an amazing show because it highlights so many issues with AI and technology that we didn't realize were right around the corner.
Are we in the 2000s now in Voyager?
It's still 99.
Still 99? Okay.
So
What happens when the AIs hit the year 3000 and their clocks all roll over?
So, very interestingly, though, I didn't realize Picard may have gotten this from Isaac Asimov, but in Isaac Asimov's Foundation, they destroy all sentient robots.
Right.
12,000 years ago.
Oh,
I don't know. I feel, like already, this Chat GPT, if you can write your paper, using a software, then what's the point of writing papers for school, right? Like, honestly, if I was a professor,
it's like that's like asking like if you have a calculator, why learn how to do maths?
Look, it's
It's like-
Jenkins. She survived.
No, but-
It's learning how to think.
She did
It's not
survive,
about
that's quite impressive.
adding 1 + 1.
It'd be really funny if she just fell over and died now. Sorry.
well,
There's
That's
already
Tracy?
speculation and programs that are being developed to be able to
Combat.
detect if it was written by ChatGPT in particular. But this problem will only get worse the more, worse from the academics' perspective, better from the students. That the more AI is out there, the more difficult it'll be to detect. And all you have to do right now is say, write it in the form of something else, and it'll write it in a completely different way, which is very clever and very, very cool. I do see it being a thing for especially the high school level stuff. Anyone who needs to write like a small 200, 600 word essay, it's done.
Well, I don't think the software existing isn't necessarily the problem, though. The problem is if you have someone that doesn't want to do that work, they're going to find a way not to do it. So that you have to sell why doing that and learning how to think is important over just like, because if you're fairly smart, you're in high school, you might just be like, oh, I'll just get ChatGPT to do it. But then
So
10
if I
years
can
later,
interrupt
you have
for a
shitty
moment,
job.
everyone please queue up Equinox Part 1. Equinox Part 1.
Only Part 1.
We're not watching Part 2 today. Part 2 is next week.
And
well.
we have spent 5 seasons, complete seasons together with the completion of this episode of our third
It's
series.
been a lot of Star Trek.
It's our third series, 5 seasons. We're over the hill with Voyager.
This is our 4th series. TNG, DS9, Enterprise, and now Voyager.
All right.
It's, there was a day when they were running in parallel, just like on the
Everyone,
TV.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. Yeah, it's perfect. We start getting close to the end of one series, and I'm like, nah. God, freaking Nova class, worthless.
And by the way, it's so funny how last week we remembered how we.
Wait,
Voyager.
hang on, shut up. Look at Ransom's foot. He has a literal boulder next to his foot, not just a regular small debris rock. That's a boulder.
It's boulders and them there roofs.
They're running out of small rocks to come out of the consoles already, so they're having to throw out the big ones.
Well, if you think about it, this might actually be one of the times where it makes sense, because like rocks from outside the ship could just be getting blasted in because the ship's so destroyed.
Wow.
So that's space debris.
Well, maybe
Yes,
actually these
asteroid
interdimensional portal things are sending rocks
They're
into the
throwing
ship.
boulders
They're
at
throwing
him.
rocks through. Stop abducting
It's very
us.
effective.
This Helm actor is so funny. Like, he has one of
This
those
is Leslie.
faces that you wanna.
This is the last stand. This is like the moment they were expecting to be done.
But the Casper came out at the same time. So that's it. So to me, they're just like the Ghostbusters bad guy thing that and
The
in the
Casper?
future.
Traveling across the
What?
Delta Quadrant,
The
busting
Casper
ghosts.
came out at the same time. The movie Casper.
There was a movie based on Casper. This
Yes.
friendly ghost.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater. So there was actually a deleted scene from that movie where it might not even been deleted, where
No, it wasn't deleted.
Dan Aykroyd in Ghostbuster uniform with the proton pack and a mustache comes down the stairs like, "You guys are on your own. I'm not dealing with that." He's like, "Who you gonna call? Not me."
Honestly, I thought you were calling those little demons coming out of the portals Caspers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was what's happening.
That is what's happening? Okay, so I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm just totally lost.
Oh, it's just so
Sorry.
funny.
I was confusing two different things also.
No, they're Caspers now.
That was
Casper.
The guy was Bill Pullman, right? He did Independence Day. He was the president.
Yeah.
He played the dad in Casper.
He's Casper, the fuel efficient ghost.
And the Casper was played by one of the teen heartthrobs at the time, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
So there's another ship in the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah, there's a few ships in the Delta Quadrant.
At least for once, it's not like a duplicate of Voyager from another timeline. That's always bloody happening.
The fact that they managed to get ahead of Voyager though is insane.
They did get here first.
They got through first.
But did they also have the 30,000 light year jumps?
Nobody's looking for them though.
They found a wormhole apparently. I think
we had 10,000 light year jumps, not 30.
I was sort of getting some approximation.
At this point, Voyager's made contact with Starfleet, right? Sorry.
No,
I believe.
Well,
I think they did, right, with the Hirogen network, or
yeah.
Do you think they would have been like, "Hey, have you guys seen the Equinox out
Seen
there?
the Equinox?
Yeah, anywhere?
Okay.
Like,
as far as Starfleet is concerned, the Equinox is just missing. They don't know who's taken into the Delta Quadrant.
No,
it stopped calling back.
They ghosted them.
But didn't it also disappear like in the same region or something?
It ghosted them, and now they're being attacked by Caspers.
Wow.
It's all coming together.
Full circle. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yes.
But also, I want to say, as a Star Trek fan, how exciting it is when we get a new class of starship.
Yeah.
And then the disappointment when you realize, oh, it's a Nova.
Okay. No, but because First Contact introduced a lot of new starship classes.
It was This was based on unused concept art for either Voyager or Enterprise E.
The Nova looks really cool. I just wish it did anything but explode.
I believe the Nova was a concept art for the Defiant.
Maybe. I just know it was unused concept art.
It does look like a cross between Intrepid and Sovereign.
Yeah, it fits the era really nicely, actually.
Yeah.
Mini Voyager.
I always confuse this and the Prometheus class.
I've got one simple trick to help you fix that problem.
Okay.
The Prometheus has 4 engines.
Oh, okay.
Prometheus has extra engines that pop out of the saucer section.
Well, engines in all the senses. It has many more impulse engines and nacelles.
No, it has extra warp nacelles that come out of the saucer when it's the upper saucer when it's separated.
Because it has,
but they're like tiny.
Yeah.
Look, it's not about the size of the nacelle; it's how much antimatter you can channel through it.
I don't know about that, Ryan. I think it's directly proportional to your coils.
The nacelles.
Well, if you think about it, Voyager's got quite small nacelles, but it goes faster than the Enterprise E, I believe.
Voyager's nacelles are perfectly average size.
Not supposed to.
No, Intrepid is faster than the Enterprise E. It can go warp 9.998, and the Enterprise E can go like 9.998.
No, this is
9.975. And I think that they've said that the Enterprise E can do 9.985 or 9.9. It depends what source you look at, but
yeah,
I feel like the speed of the ship directly correlates to how sleek it looks, how aerodynamic it looks. Because like the Enterprise D, pretty slow by these standards, and it looks kind of like a whale.
Yeah, and the Defiant's pretty slow as well because it's quite boxy and chunky.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So really, they should design all their ships to be a little pointier, so they'll go faster.
Prometheus
is pretty quick.
Clunky. Of course, NX-01 breaks the whole continuity thing.
NX-01, it doesn't even go warp 5.
And on the old scale.
Yeah.
Yes.
For those listening who may not be aware, but the warp scale is logarithmic, so like 9.95 versus 9.96. 9.96 is like 100 times faster than
I'm sure it's
9.95.
quadrarhythmic.
Whereas 5 to 6 is actually not a huge jump in comparison.
Okay, no, but 5 to 6 is a 10 times bigger jump than 4 to 5.
Yes. But 1 to 2 is nothing. Which is why I always get a little bit annoyed when they're like traveling at warp 8 to like a semi-emergency where it's like if you went at warp 9 you'd be there in like 3 seconds.
Oh, there's a terrible example of this. Okay, so in the episode The Wounded, where Captain Whoever's going around murdering Cardassians, and they bring in fake Gul Dukat with his mutton chops, and Picard goes, "Oh yes, we're doing everything in our power to reach the Phoenix." And we learn like 10 seconds later they're going at warp 4.
Was it Captain Braxton? No, not Captain Braxton. I'm trying to think of his name.
It wasn't Pressman. Captain Maxwell.
Was it not Pressman? Maxwell, yeah.
Benjamin
also
Maxwell.
known as the Warden from Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
Benjamin Maxwell.
We're doing everything in our power, which is why we're going 1/10,000th our maximum speed.
That's why.
Also, when they do something like what they did in the last episode, actually, when Janeway's like, "Oh, we'll continue on our current course at 1/4 impulse," after traveling at warp 9, it's a bit like, oh, okay.
Well, the reason why they were going warp 4, Ryan, was that they needed to sneak up on the Phoenix. You know, I'd be willing to bet
they didn't
that
even
a
catch
Nebula
the
class...
Phoenix. The Phoenix was like, "Oh yeah, we'll come over. We'll rendezvous. That's fine." They didn't even catch the Phoenix.
I feel like a Nebula class could defeat a Galaxy class because it has way more. Like if it has the photon pod, basically, it's a torpedo boat. So without all the superfluous science crap.
Yep, Nebula class is a crouched Galaxy class. But
the way they were talking between Maxwell and Picard, it definitely sounded like if he wanted to, Picard could have just blown them up instantly.
Yeah, I think
prefix codes.
I think the same reason that Tom Paris only gets like New Zealand punishment is because you're allowed to like
commit treason.
If it involves killing Cardassians, it's not as bad as like actually committing treason against the Federation.
Cardassians only count as 3/5 of a Federation member.
It's like not even a crime. It goes from a felony. It goes from a felony to a misdemeanor to like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, in a lot of Star Trek, especially TNG, but also in DS9, a lot of the characters are just straight up racist to Cardassians. Everybody hates Cardassians.
In heads.
TNG, the crew is very racist toward Ferengi as well. Also, wow, there's a lot of space racism in TNG DS9.
There's been a lot of recent Cardassian, what do you call them? War crimes. So people are understandably not so happy with them.
Why are they also racist against the Ferengi? What did they do?
I think
the Ferengi will
Ferengi
sell
sort of, like,
weapons.
done
to
it to
anyone.
themselves. Like
Sisko literally tells his kid he's not allowed to hang out with the Ferengi kid.
He's a bad influence,
The Ferengi remind the humans too much of what they used to be like.
Or maybe Sisko was just weirded out by the fact that the Ferengi kid was actually like 30.
What?
That too. The actor has had a disorder where like he didn't develop.
Really? Well,
he was
he was in
TNG. What episode of TNG was he in? Someone find it, but he played a character in TNG as well.
Are you sure? Because Nog? I
I'm
know
absolutely
Nog's in
positive
Voyager.
the actor played a character in TNG.
He's in Voyager. I don't. Aaron Eisenberg. Let's look him up.
Great actor, by the way. We're not saying anything bad about the actor.
Well, he played the Kazon kid in Voyager,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure he had a role in the role in Next
Okay,
Generation
I'm
too.
looking at his memory alpha. He was not in TNG. He's been
No, I must
Nog.
have got the.
It was
He's
probably
been-
another, height
Voyager.
challenged person.
He's been Nog. He's been the Newsy from Far Beyond the Stars, where everyone was out of makeup. And he was the Kazon kid. Oh, B'Elanna changed her hair.
Oh, Paris gets to be jealous for once. Usually it's always Paris who has like a
Oh, hey, this is my husband. Wait, are they married? No, this is my boyfriend, Tom.
and this is my boyfriend
What is
Harry.
what does Maxwell Burke stand for? If she's BLT, what is he?
I don't know. I was looking at Aaron Eisenberg's memory alpha.
Yeah, he's making a
Don't
lot of
touch
plans.
her waist. What are you doing, man? Leave her alone.
They were like
Very
B'Elanna
sussy behavior.
Larry Torres.
but for the record, she dropped out of the academy, or she was kicked out. She never finished. That's why she's Maquis.
How about Blue Alert? Because we're taking the ship in for a landing. Oh,
Turkey platter. Savage.
but his initials are TEP. So what would the E be?
Do we know what his actual middle name is?
Starfleet's a pretty
Team Edward.
tight, small world, though. Boothby is a
Eugene,
boxing
Thomas
coach.
Eugene Paris.
Oh yeah.
Eugene.
Oh yeah. It was after Gene Roddenberry.
Gene Roddenberry's middle name was Wesley. Wesley was his self-insert
no.
character in Next Generation.
No, he wasn't married to?
No.
Wow.
Say it
Yeah.
again.
Oh yeah.
Can I just want to point something out. I thought of
No.
this the other day, and it's too good not to share. But
No.
I think we should call him acting incel Wesley Crush.
Yeah.
You know what? Wesley's a great
He
character.
wasn't an incel. He was just
Oh,
weird.
he was getting it all the time.
He was just a child.
You watched the
Leave
series?
him alone. Though he did have those really stupid flaps on the back of his pants. Like they were
Yeah,
supposed to button in the front and he put them on backwards and didn't
see-
button them.
Season 1 outfits in general were just really stupid.
See, outfits in season 1 and across all series, all outfits for children. And civilians.
So
Well, she did an emergency stop. Why didn't it land between decks?
Luck.
Don't worry about it. It emergency stopped at the next nearest deck.
So
Going at like warp 2, so
Turbo
Also, if you do an emergency stop, wouldn't that alert the bridge?
Probably.
yeah, but they were just like whatever. It's like a notification. You just slide away. They don't care.
Harry's just sitting at ops going, "Oh, that one emergency stopped. Oh well."
Yeah, they're like
it's,
whatever.
It's just Chakotay. But did you know that turbo lifts, they have horizontal and vertical shafts throughout the ship, and they can go up and down and left and right?
What? We can't hold them here. We have no idea how to do that. That's crazy. What are you talking about, Janeway? It was her idea. What do you mean if she agrees?
She's
He's just-
unknowingly assisting Joseph Mengele here.
Well, Joseph Mengele didn't torture ghosts like Casper. Oh, by the way,
How do you even torture a ghost? What do you do?
sorry, but the kid Casper, he has a really sad story. It was like a little kid who died, and that's why he's a ghost.
Right.
That's how ghosts work, yes.
Oh my god!
I don't know what you expected.
I don't. It's kind of tragic.
Did you think he was born a ghost?
Yeah, that's the thing you kind of forget.
Well, when the mommy ghost and the daddy ghost love each other very much.
Uh huh.
When the mommy ghost and the daddy ghost
nothing
spook
happens.
each other very much.
They touch their ectoplasm together.
And then
And what
the
happens?
stork arrives.
How did you not hear about them if they're like right there? Right around the
Yeah, I'm
corner.
surprised
they-
Janeway doesn't know about that.
If you compare their routes, they probably never crossed paths once.
But he's talking about the entire first week he was being attacked by the Crotonian Guard. And that would have been in the same location.
Unless, like,
Voyager
maybe
was
the
at.
Kazon took over the region or something in between the two.
Or the caretaker moved
they
to
went
Okampa.
north. They went south. Like we know.
But why would they have gone north? Further away from Earth.
Yeah. Janeway
Uh,
started out going in the wrong direction.
Mm. We'll start traveling towards the Gamma Quadrant wormhole instead.
Yeah.
It's about the same distance.
Would you care to elaborate on those enhancements, Captain?
You know, we
Come on, it's
added
just murder.
a spoiler, and
Sorry, Captain, I can't tell you more. It would ruin the dramatic tension.
Well, remember
No,
when
it
you
wasn't
ordered
Janeway.
someone
Don't
to their
lie to
death
us.
for no other reason than you were upset that you lost your friend?
What if we use our friend to fuel the warp core?
Rocks.
good idea. Every
Well, the fact
time
that it
in this
still
whole
exists
series
is a
that
good
she
omen.
says this is a good omen, it's never a good omen. That should be a bad omen when people hear her saying that.
Well, the fact that the plaque fell off the wall probably is a bad omen.
How did it get all the way over there to tactical, though? It's on the other
Well,
side
you
of the
see,
rim.
the
Oh, the
photon
omen?
grenade that was behind the panel went off.
Oh, I
and
see.
flung
It blasted it across the room. Yes,
the
that makes sense.
rocks. It was the rocks.
How is it adhered to the wall? Was it just like glued? Does it have double back tape? How did it come off?
Rivets to the bulkhead.
But then how did it come off?
It came
Unless
off
the
so
whole
cl-
wall exploded.
Rivets don't have infinite tensile strength.
It came off so cleanly, though.
Don't do that. What's wrong with you, Ransom?
It's a bad omen. They just
You
misread it.
Put it
So,
back on the guy's plate. Now he has to like set. Also, we've seen him before. We know this actor. Who is he? What does he play?
Starfleet officers can't trust Starfleet officers. Like
Is this guy in
It's from
Insurrection?
Battlestar Galactica. He's one of the Skylines.
Insurrection's a good shout.
It'd be neat if they had a romance.
oh, we got Casper incoming.
Harry, you're on deck one. Where's your face, Harry?
It's Harry. Who cares? He's used to dying.
So these aliens live in subspace, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
Well, they're extra dimensional.
Oh, right.
Oh, I thought there was subspace.
No.
I don't know. Did they say they're subspace?
No, they're extra dimensional. You're right.
Either way, they're extra dimensional, I guess.
Okay, so this is Rick. Well, not this. That's Tuvok and Seven and some lady. Who cares? So, the other guy was Rick Worthy, which is a very familiar name.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the episode Prototype with the the blue robots and the gold robots at war trying to kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Klingon in DS9. He was an insurrection. And he was a member of the Zindi Council.
So it was.
Mm. The
He
Zindi's
was one of
definitely
the
where I
really
remember
fluffy
him from.
people.
Okay.
The Zindi is definitely where I remember him from.
Not from Battlestar.
He might be in Battlestar.
Yes,
Oh, what does he do?
he does evil and
Ah,
medical experiments.
cool.
He's not a nice
Kind of like
Cylon.
here. Honestly, I'm kind of with him. We could use a second ship. I guess it is a lot slower. Like 15 times slower.
I guess without B'Elanna and Seven, Voyager would be just as bad shape as the Equinox is.
Pretty much. Don't forget Harry.
Yeah. No, Harry made the astrometrics, so you're right.
Harry's there to
You
tank
don't
all the
have Harry?
shots coming at them.
Harry's gone.
Yep, and Harry also saved Ensign Naomi Wildman, so there's that also.
If you say those words, doesn't the computer recognize it and call security?
No, don't worry about it.
Recognize his tone as well.
No, don't overlook the infraction. Shoot him.
By the way, she has a husband.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, it says the dropout.
Does it count as dropping out of school if you do it to commit treason?
Yes.
Okay. She has a boyfriend,
She
Max.
wasn't. She wasn't. She didn't drop out. I think she punched somebody in the nose and was expelled.
I think she broke her instructor's arm. She said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
she's
sounds like something she'd do.
She's not a dropout. She's just couldn't finish.
Washed out.
Yeah.
That's what when you get
It's all getting axed.
Dismissed. It's your washout, not a dropout.
Okay. You know,
Yeah, let's start with the crystals.
Chemosites? They found chemosites. That's why Rick Worthy becomes a member of the Zindi Council.
Where do they have room on that ship for 2,000 tons of ore?
In the walls. What do you mean? What did he think is coming out of the walls? That's where they store it.
So they have a thing that wires into your brain, and you can look at alien vistas behind your ear. Just look at alien landscapes. And she says, think of it as a poor man's holodeck. It's kind of nice.
Which, to be fair, having a little ship like that with no holodeck for that long, you would kind of want something.
Like Oculus.
We don't have space for a holodeck. Instead, stare at the screensaver of a beach.
We have what this is we have holodeck at home.
Qatarian.
Yeah, holodeck at home. Oof. Not so good at home though.
You were never given that position, Naomi. You just gave it to
Your
yourself.
actual rank.
I mean, if you give it to yourself and it sticks, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you got it now.
Naomi.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have, I guess.
How old is Naomi?
She grows extra fast.
Don't worry about it.
No, how old actually is she? Because is she 4? When did Samantha give
like
birth?
4.
4. Okay.
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
You can't have like a 4-year-old is not going to be making any sense in astrometrics.
No, all alien species grow fast. That's how it works.
Yeah. Makes sense with the plot.
Humans are the weird ones.
How come they get to grow faster than us and live longer than us? Not fair.
I wonder if Klingons.
Ransom, Voyager is so much more capable than Equinox. Why are you just using it?
I wonder if Klingons have higher rates of cancer just by sheer mass.
Yeah, but they've got a bunch of redundant organs, so they've probably
Yeah,
got a
so
whole
it's double the chance to
redundant
grow
immune
cancer.
system.
Yeah, but redundant organs could be removed without danger.
They've probably
Yeah,
got
but
like 17,000 different
It's like the
kinds of
ability
white
to
blood
remove
cells.
one of your lungs. You know.
Worf, I'm afraid you have lung cancer. Again?
That's the fifth
Guess
lung.
that's 2 down.
You should
The
stop
Ocampa-
smoking those death sticks.
The Ocampa don't grow longer. Yes. They don't live longer. They do grow faster, though.
What happens if you had a cross between a Klingon and a Ocampa? Klingons live to be like hundreds of years old.
What if you crossed a Vulcan and an Ocampa?
It's so weird to me that Klingons live
extra pointy ears.
Extra pointy ears and like an averaged out
Like
lifespan
antennae.
to 100.
Extra Jean Grey.
It feels like Klingons should like burn out sooner.
Also, if you had a Vulcan crossed with an Ocampa, would it if the genes worked right, you could have one that would have still only live for 8 years, but have the pollen far every year.
Okay.
That would work, right?
It'd be 8 wild years, wouldn't it?
It's just Logan's Run, the species.
Oh, I want to say I love the Master Systems display diagram they had at Voyager on the astrometrics thing right there. They did a really great job.
Various times in this episode, I keep thinking, why are you carrying a gun in the mess hall? Why do you have a gun in engineering? No, it's because the aliens. Kind of forgot about them.
The aliens could attack at any moment.
Except they've never so much as made a sound since the start of the episode.
Well, they do make sounds right before they attack.
Yeah, but they haven't for a while.
They did like 5 minutes ago.
Well, I didn't hear that, so it doesn't count.
Remember when Harry was on the bridge and I said, well, why isn't Harry getting his gun out?
No, so they were starting to, then they closed the fissure, so they didn't really make the sound. It was like for the briefest.
But you heard the sound. It was there.
They didn't open the fissure, so it wasn't accompanied by a visual. So it's easy to miss if you're looking up something on Memory Alpha. Ryan is distracted because he has hosting responsibilities.
What responsibilities do I have?
Hosting.
I do?
Memory Alpha or whatever. But I will say though, I remember I was talking about what was going on during Deep Space Nine once, and for the briefest second we see a triangle ship, and Ryan just like yells out, "Triangle ship!" So no matter how distracted he is watching for triangle ships in the back of the mind.
As long as I'm looking at the right screen, I will always see it.
How many more triangle ships have we
Like
got?
pattern recognizer built in.
At least one more.
We're expecting 2 more triangles, and they're both in season 7. There might be more, but there are 2 that I know of.
Are we going to do movie watch-alongs?
Yeah, we already did TNG, and we'll have to do TOS after the TOS series.
We did we did Insurrection and
Have we done all the TNG ones?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay.
What? When?
that was my question. I don't remember this.
When we did TNG. Hang on, I have a playlist of just the movies. Hang on.
Okay.
We could do them all at once. Just do an infinite marathon.
I think
24
You
I
can
hours.
do them
there.
all
It
at
was
once.
just-
I'm not hanging out here to moderate like 10 hours.
You can trust us to host on your channel for 12 hours, right?
What happens when someone shows up and starts spouting off stuff in the public Discord?
You'd have to give me admin permissions to mute them for you.
But you'd have to mute
Oh.
the stream, including the
I could
3-second
mute the
delay.
person. Yeah, well, then you'd have to give me access to the stream.
Getting a bit
Okay,
saucy.
I posted a link to our movies playlist
Thanks.
in the Discord channel.
Thank you.
So we've watched Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis.
Gracias.
So TOS, then the TOS movies. Then what about the other 3?
The reboots?
Mhm.
I don't know, whenever.
Technically TOS, so after the TOS movies.
Probably after TOS, yeah. I'm a little afraid to start a watch along for TOS, because every stream I'm going to have to premise with, okay, look, there's going to be some sexism in these episodes. It was the 60s. There's a lot.
Well, it's not playing on the stream. The stream doesn't know.
They don't know that there's a lot of sexism in the show.
No, the stream doesn't know. As in, the stream doesn't hear the audio or see it. So, also, everyone in the chat asks why it's blurry.
The Ryan's Edits YouTube channel officially does not condone many of the attitudes from the shows from the 60s.
Yeah, you could just have that as a little banner that pops up every 20 minutes or so.
Or we could just count the instances of sexism the way we count triangle ships.
God, I don't know about that.
It'd be like over the count of triangle ships in a couple of episodes.
First episode.
Or how many women Kirk kisses.
There was, look, I know it's sort of a stereotype of Kirk and it's not necessarily true, but there's one episode I watched like a couple months ago, Bread and Circuses, where they find Rome in space, because of course they do.
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out that if they were emitting high levels of antimatter, they would just explode.
Yeah, don't worry about that. So in the episode Bread and Circuses, at the end, Kirk is given a slave to sleep with,
Nice.
and he makes zero objections to that. This woman is literally enslaved and being ordered to sleep with him, and he's like, yeah, nope, seems up and up. All good.
That's what they do on this planet. Who are we to say otherwise?
And then Picard takes the metamorph.
He does not
Would you
sleep with a
object to
metamorph.
getting a sex slave?
He does not. He does not.
I'm just asking that rhetorically to the whole audience, you know.
It depends. Do they seem into it?
Well, that's
Well,
sort of where the
let's-
slave part comes in.
Let's
Well,
just
yeah,
leave
you
that.
can be a. Hmm.
That's illegal as per the U.S. Constitution. So
Yeah,
no.
but it's in space, so
Maritime law.
if law is all that's holding you back, then I'm sorry, but I have news for you.
Well, laws aside, can you actually own another person?
I mean, the
I mean,
term
that
own is
depends
sort of a
on the
legal term in the
structure
first
of where
place.
you live, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. So, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can actually have title to a person the way you have title to a property.
You got like
Yeah,
your
'cause all
pink slip
humans
for all your
have
slaves.
rights, in theory.
What are those bouncing lines on the? Oh, they're gone now. One of the consoles just had a bunch of like circles going up and down. I don't know what it's about.
Isn't that just most of them?
Most of them are fairly static most of the time. I don't know. That one just stood out to me as extra weird. God, look at that guy. Look at that security officer. He's like
massive.
7 feet tall and he has a gun that's 3 feet long.
He's like gonna hit his head on the next. Oh, okay, he's fine.
He's actually getting really close to the ceiling. Looks dangerous.
I know how that feels.
So why did they take her comm badge?
Because she's not an officer right now.
No, but
No, it
They're
doesn't
all-
matter.
she still needs to talk to people. Why didn't they
still
take
need
her
to be
pic?
tracked. Like they can track them with that, and it's no reason that they couldn't restrict who they could call with it, so they couldn't call each other, and that way they could just like it could only take incoming calls. You know.
And what probably
Sorry, the
happens is
contact you're
like,
trying to reach only takes incoming calls.
it's a ceremonial thing, and then like as she walks out, they just give her it back.
No, that's what we do. We exploit resources regardless of their sustainability.
Oh, that hurts.
There you go, 7.
That's like if someone says, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed." You know that's worse, 7.
Oh.
No, don't
You fool! What have you done?
Don't show him. Don't show him.
You fool!
I know. I've been running them.
This is
Oh,
basically.
very efficient.
Oh wow, that was well written.
Now we see the power of the Doctor.
Soon you will feel the power.
Of this fully operational hypospray.
Now go to sleep.
What do you think would be the coolest thing they could do with 24th century medical technology? Like, what would be the coolest, just like casual use of 24th century medical technology?
Does the EMH count? Because like,
Just casual
like
use.
pure
So like a
knowledge
casual use
of
of
an
medical
EMH.
technology. Well, I suppose if you do extreme sport regularly and lose limbs, they could just be like, got a new one. There you go.
Clone
The
new
part
limb.
of Starfleet medicine that always stands out to me every episode is how everyone has 24/7 access to a competent doctor for free.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
just walk
That's a
in
good
and they
point.
cure you.
They're like,
I would-
and he's like, you're
if we
fine,
could just
bye.
put an EMH in like every room in every hospital in the whole planet.
Imagine like you have like a set of flats and every flat has an EMH. You know,
Yeah, you don't need hospitals anymore.
There you
you
go.
just go to the
I mean,
EMH
You
room
don't
and
have
it's
to
like,
admit your
oh,
embarrassing medical problems to a real human.
And you can wipe
just
their
have an
memory
EMH.
afterwards.
Your own personal EMH.
Yeah,
or
but
there would be like people that have deleted the ethical subroutines and they like harvest people's organs and stuff.
Well,
you know?
you could have
or like
EMHs. The publicly available EMHs wouldn't be accessible to the general public in terms of systems.
Oh, okay. So we've already stepped back from universally available.
So, all right.
well, he's
think
not
about-
open
think about-
source.
Yeah,
Think
for
about the
example,
people-
if an alien boards Voyager, they can't adjust the Doctor's programming. Only the crew can.
Think about the people who are addicted to plastic surgery.
That-
They would like.
that's-
At least
that's
it
the
would.
thing.
At least it would be done well.
That's the thing. I don't want somebody to say, "Oh, you don't get a doctor's note today because you're not that sick." You know, like I don't want that. I don't want a strict algorithm telling me I'm not really
You know what
sick.
you could do? you could if people had like weight issues and they were eating a lot, you could just like let them eat it and then transport some of it out of them, so then they would lose weight anyway, but they still feel like they've eaten.
Well, in TNG, they say when you replicate food, it makes it healthy for you. So I wonder if most of the food they eat, if they eat too much, is just like air that tastes good.
Yeah, it's just like filler. There's a thing that they make. I don't know if they still make it, but it used to be called the full bar, and basically, like it was like a brick you could eat that it would just pass through you, but it would make you feel full. So like you eat a full bar, and then you have a little meal of food that actually tastes good, and then you feel full, right? And you're not hungry anymore, and then it's just this basically edible foam that you excrete.
Excrete a full bar.
Pretty soon we're gonna use
full bar weight loss
insects for protein,
bars.
so I'm gonna have to learn to like chocolate-covered grasshoppers.
No, they'll just they grind it up into dust and then include it as a supplement. But the problem with that is you need hundreds of thousands of crickets to equal one cow. So I don't know if we're going to get the ratio right.
Well, there's hundreds of thousands of crickets around my house in the spring, summer, and fall. Just like you can hear them. It's so loud.
Yeah, but think about how fast we would destroy the cricket population if we decided that we were going to eat them.
We're not going to go out to the fields and like catch them.
Yeah, we're not going to be out there with a shop vac sucking them up into a big
container.
There's a spare crickets.
We're gonna raise them. We're gonna raise them in cricket farms. I don't know.
Oh, it sounds horrible.
Well, it's marginally less horrible than what we do with chickens.
I suppose if we decide that crickets can't feel emotion/pain, then I guess so. But...
Oh, they definitely feel pain.
Well, is it any better then? If we're just like packing a million crickets into a vat, so we just like liquefy them into cricket paste.
It's better for the people who care about cute animals because, crickets aren't cute and fuzzy and.
So, Casper's movie uses the same kind of animation. Ghosts.
Why did it go further? Oh, there's a person there. I was gonna say, like, why is it going through an empty doorway instead of attacking?
So,
no, there's a person.
It seems like New Zealand is sinking. Has anyone been following this?
Is there a way to make it sink faster? Because it would be funny to watch it in real time. Instead of like, it's a millimeter every year. It's like, well, that's not going to sink on time, is it?
No, I mean like they're having flash floods. Like that's like legit. Like
I don't think that's what
right
sinking means. I don't think that's how land mass works. But
well, the oceans were rising or something. But did you see Janeway? She got hit by the Casper ghost.
Yeah, she'll be fine next episode. Don't worry about it.
Wow, what a cliffhanger!
All right, so we're not watching part 2 right now. It's not gonna happen.
Part two.
5 seasons.
They can all watch it individually.
Yeah, you can go watch part 2 if you want. If you want the end of the episode. So next week is Equinox part 2, where Janeway goes a little crazy again. Survival Instinct, which I don't remember. I have no idea what that is. And then Barge of the Dead, which is this weird... I'm not sure if she really went to Sto-vo-kor for a bit, or Grathor, or wherever, or if it was a hallucination. It was unclear.
Isn't Survival Instinct the 7 of 9 episode?
Could you be more specific? This entire 3 seasons is 7 of 9.
Season 4 through 7 is
do you
the 7 of
Vaughn
9
Armstrong?
episode.
The episode was Vaughn.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that it, where she linked 3 people together and they're freaking out about it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that's Vaughn Armstrong.
There's a lot of flashback scenes to the original thing.
Okay, yeah, that episode's pretty good. And it has
frees
Vaughn
them,
Armstrong.
but then they have like 3 weeks left to live after she disconnects them, and they're like, "Oh, 3 weeks of silence. Thank you.
Thank God."
I don't know. I think I would rather stay hooked up and survive.
What if you
Maybe
had to be
at some
hooked up
point
with
down the road,
us
someone would
24/7?
I don't know. Well, I'm not.
Like you just had to constantly wear. You just had to wear Bluetooth headphones everywhere, and it was a 24/7 YouTube stream.
That's fine. I don't think you fully understand how my brain works.
Okay, so next week, Equinox Part 2, Survival Instinct, Barge of the Dead, and then a week off. And then we'll come back on the 19th with Tinker, Tenor, Doctor, Spy. Which is 10 out of 10. Good episode.
I'm just saying. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the stream now. We're done. It's over.
Bye.
Everybody is now permitted to leave. Ah, yes, the weak shall perish.
The fewer.
No, that's TNG. The weak shall perish. That's what we say in this room.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, just this room. I don't ever say